More than 4 years after the death of Elijah McClain in Aurora, two of the police officers accused of causing his death are sitting in a courtroom listening to the case against them. Prosecutors have charged Randy Rodema and Jason Rosenblatt with reckless manslaughter and second-degree assault. After some delay this morning, opening statements in this very high-profile case began about an hour ago.
Our 9 News reporter Chris Vanderveen has been investigating this case for years. He joins us now. Chris, prosecutors finally got the chance to outline their case in public this afternoon.
They did, and while we know a lot about this case and a lot has been said about this case, not until this afternoon did we start to get a sense of how prosecutors, led by the State Attorney General's office, would attempt to prosecute this case. A case that blames two law enforcement officers for the death of 23-year-old Elijah McClain.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Stop tensing up, dude. Stop tensing up, bro. Stop tensing up. Stop tensing up.
No, I am an introvert.
That is how this all started. Elijah McClain, 23 years old, walking home with a bag that had 3 cans of iced tea. The key here is how quickly things escalated. McClain was wearing a ski mask that night, but had done nothing wrong, certainly nothing criminal. The two officers on trial today are two of the officers who took him to the ground within seconds and put him in what's known as a carotid hold or neck hold. A lot going on right now in this much anticipated trial, but this is how the lead prosecutor began his opening statements. Notice the specific talk of time here.
Just walking down a sidewalk from a convenience store, was grabbed by the two defendants here and one other officer at 10:46 p.m. Within 18 minutes and 2 seconds, Elijah McClain was loaded onto a gurney, unconscious, near death, put onto an ambulance where his heart stopped. He went into a coma and died a few days later.
Elijah McClain's mother is at the Adams County Courthouse where all this has been going on. She's really been her son's voice over the course of the last 4 years that this story has grown from a local story certainly to an international story. Certainly there's some challenges for prosecutors here, one of which is the autopsy and then the subsequent amended autopsy. Neither are definitive, based upon the undetermined manner of death in both. And the amended autopsy says ketamine was at play in the death. But officers didn't inject McClain with ketamine. A paramedic did. And that really is the key. As the defense began their opening statements not too long ago, it became clear, for the defense at least, that they're going to put a lot of blame on the paramedics. Remember, the paramedics are not at trial right now. It is the two officers that are at trial right now. And those defense opening statements are beginning right now. And we'll certainly learn more about their case. But Kim and Jen, this is really a case about how did McClain die and who is responsible. We're going to hear a lot of expert testimony over the next few weeks about all of this. But today was really sort of setting the stage for how all of this is going to lay out. And you got a sense of the prosecution's case, and right now we're getting a sense of the defense's case.
It's so many expert witnesses. I know we're going to get into that, and you're really going to have to break that down because you've done so much on excited delirium and so many other issues for us. Also, for people that, typically we don't always get to see a case like this, what are we going to be able to see visually with the camera in the court?
Yeah, it's interesting. We should lay the groundwork for that and what you're going to see over the course of the next few weeks. What you saw with those opening sound bites, that's how this case is going to look for the next few weeks. There are 2 cameras that are stationed in the courtroom, and they're fixed. They're not really going to move, and you won't be able to see the jury for good reason. But you're going to get a sense of those 2 fixed shots, and that's how you're going to see this trial. It's being sent out via web to stations that are allowed to sort of like show clips of this. But it's really sort of like how this is being done now in 2023 in terms of distributing these kind of cases. But it's an interesting look, and it does give us a look as to how this case is going to unfold.
All right, so much more to follow in the days and weeks ahead. Thank you, Chris.
You bet.